What are your cringy I'm not like other girls stories that you're embarrassed about or were unfortunate enough to witness? I was my best friend's maid of honor a few years back and we were wedding dress shopping and this one quirky bride came in was like whatever dress I get is to go with my red shucks. I am not one of those girls who wear heels. I've always been different and the shop lady was like, actually, second to a traditional heel or ballet flat. Chucks are a super common choice for our many low maintenance brides, and her whole attitude just deflated. When the kid realizes the counterculture is just different culture and it's still a group of people who are all similar. Oh geez, I thought I was a stoner after the first time I smoked weed. I bought this Bob Marley shirt I wore all the time and done rasta colored bracelets and I felt so cool. Passed out on a rock band drum set after smoking a blunt like it was a cigarette and decided that wasn't the life for me. Passed out on a rock band drum set. God bless my friend, God bless you. Friend of mine started dating the single most dramatic girl I've ever met. We lived on the 4th floor. We always took the elevator. So, we all get in to go down to the lunch hall, and she literally dashes for the corner and starts rocking back and forth in a really sad act of being terrified. He runs over to hold her and explains she's terrified of elevators. First, she lived with us, on the same floor, for 2 months and we've all seen her on the elevator acting normal. Second, if you were really terrified of elevators, you'd just walk the 4 floors. It wasn't even that far up. Third, her acting was just terrible. Of course, a few weeks later, she forgot all about it and went back to acting normal on elevators again. I really like this story. In high school, one of my teachers asked everyone to say one word describing themselves and I said classy. I die inside every time I remember it. A girl at school once commented on my Facebook picture, "You look cute." 3. And edgy me said, "Thanks, you're not getting a heart back, that would be dumb." I remember being like 14 and this 16 years old guy asked me what my fantasy was and I said, well, I mean most girls would like to have like Prince Charming on a white horse, but I don't like horses. I'm just different like that. He definitely meant sexual fantasies, not like romance, but I needed him to know I was cool and didn't like horses like other girls. This is so freaking funny. You aren't a horse girl. I wasn't like other girls because I loved hats. Top hats, specifically. For like a year in 6th grade I think I wore a top hat to school and I thought I was the crap. It's funny now, but oh my god did I cringe for years after it. I was dangerously close to being sucked into the steampunk trend of tiny top hats. I took 4 years of auto body repair in high school because I was clearly different than all the other girls. I did end up really liking it, but I started for all the wrong reasons. Yeah, but now you can repair an auto body. I spent my middle school years wearing fake coontail extensions and saying "I'll kill you" to anyone who tried talking to me, especially other girls. I don't know what the frick was wrong with me, but I'm still lying awake at night replaying it all a decade later. It's like 2 AM and I'm dying at this comment on Mayo. Just picturing someone walking up to you like, "Hey," and you slowly turn to them, coontails dangling, "I'll kill you." I hated anything new or trendy because I thought I was cool and contrarian for it. From ages 13 to 16, I liked to not think about it. Same. Avoided mainstream music and only listened to offbeat quirky stuff that no one had ever heard of and I could only get online because it wasn't available in stores. I listen to some mainstream stuff now, but I don't hide the offbeat stuff I used to listen to. It had a lot to do with shaping my musical tastes now, so it's a part of me. Lady next door needed help breaking into her, probably not, son's friend's car. She said she could do it with fishing line and I happen to like to fish, so I had some braided heavy pound test and offered it to her. She pulls the amount she needs and tries to break it with her teeth. For a while. Me. "Mom, that's braided line." Her. "Oh no honey, I'm a country girl." That's beautiful. I never realized being born in the South, a rural area, means you can basically chew through steel. I used to think I was a natural witch after watching The Craft for the first time. It was so cringy, the moodiest middle schooler ever. I miss it. I'm 29, so I lived as a preteen teen during the peak AIM days. Putting up away messages were the crap. Eating dinner with your family, let the world know. Be right back, let them know. Taking a shower, tell everyone. One of my away messages for just that was save water, shower with me with the kissy face that had the little beauty mark for some reason. OGAIM users, you know the one. I was honestly like 11. Literally had never kissed a boy. Guarantee I was also still wearing overalls, keds, and bucket hats. I'm a 4th grade teacher now, and I realize now that I was an actual baby at the time. I cringe just thinking about it. Overall, I would really like to go back in time and smack some sense into me. I had one that said, save the trees, eat more beavers, and my dad freaked out. Thought I was funny, but I was 11 and had no idea what the other kind of beaver was. Girl in uni said she wasn't like other girls cause she could hold her liquor like a man, so went shot for shot with this big dude. People tried to stop her but she was gonna prove herself. She kept saying she was fine. Finally when she flat out passed out and we ended up having to take her to the ER for what was alcohol poisoning, was pretty clear she was just super stupid in that moment. Bartender here. I always try to slow somebody's roll when they are going shot for shot like this. In high school, I had this friend who tried so hard to be one of the guys to the point where she would call herself that often. I didn't realize how cringy she was until I ran into her at a party in my 20s. She walked up to my boyfriend, currently my fiance, grabbed his hat, put it on her head backwards, then asked for a haul of his cigarette. She doesn't even smoke, and coughed profusely. She then proceeded to punch him in the stomach and started calling herself one of the guys again. A few of us just looked at each other awkwardly and slowly trickled away. I just love the phrase slowly trickled away. I was into Sonic games when I was about 10 or something, and obviously that made me one of a freaking kind. I also got into more video games in my teens, which was just, no female person has ever played a video game, ever, and this one plays several. I always loved dolls and dressing up as a kid. I would spend all my free time playing with my dolls. But when I went to school I would scoff at the other girls for playing with dolls. I wanted to be seen as tough and cool. Spoiler, I was neither of those things. For my 10th day, my parents worked together to build me some doll furniture. Dad did a lot of woodworking, and mum was good with a sewing machine. Together they created a cool little wardrobe and bed set for my dolls. They were painted white and had little flower stickers for decoration. My dad had even made a little mirror for my dolls to go on the inside of one wardrobe door, and mum had sewn up a mini mattress for the bed. I just about cried when I opened my presents because I loved them so much. But my friend was sitting right beside me and I knew if I told my parents I loved the presents my friend would know I liked dolls. My lies would be undone. So I said, thanks, but I don't like dolls. They're for babies. My parents looked so freaking sad. I'm 25 years old and I'm crying as I type this because I still feel so freaking guilty 15 years later. A few years ago I got drunk at a family gathering and I sobbed to my dad and apologized for what I said and told him I loved the present. He knew. So I got my apology out, but I still feel like such a C. I used to think I was so cool for not knowing how to order a Starbucks drink because I just drink regular coffee. By the way, I've always hated black coffee. I pretended to like black coffee for so long. So good to be in my mid-20s and not feel like I drank battery acid. I wanted to be emo but my parents wouldn't let me dye my hair or buy me new clothes. So I was just an ugly middle school girl with a crappy attitude in Bobby Jack outfits. Sounds like my goth phase. I think the most embarrassing thing I can recall is my friend doing the nice gesture of showing me a song she thought I would like, because I was always going on about liking techno instead of pop. I listened to a few seconds, scoffed, frowned, remind me to show you some real music. I told her. What I showed her later was the competition music from Nintendogs, by opening up my DS and entering a competition. I cringed so hard I forgot what I was doing. There was a point in my life when I felt like I'm not like other girls if I 1. Don't complain too much, not be too emotional, have no strong opinions about anything, and basically go with the flow as much as I can. This led to having no boundaries and a lot repressed mental health issues on my part. 2. Can be a jack of all trades and knowledgeable about many different hobbies and interests. This led to having a lot of equipment I barely use anymore. spending a lot more money, and I feel like I can never get past the basics of everything, which made me lose my sense of self. 3. Basically didn't have my own identity and I could be any girl you wanted me to be. I'm not like other girls because I am all girls. I'm Whitney Houston. I'm every woman. I probably had most of my cringe moments as a teenager. I used to think I was cool because instead of using MSN or MySpace to gossip with schoolmates, I was on Icon playing Counter-Strike or Diablo 2 with my online buddies. I only listened to metal and I always wore black clothing while decking myself out in chains. Haha. On the plus side, with social media being in its infancy, most of my blunders have long been forgotten or were never immortalized online. I still have some quirky interests, I guess, but I don't shy away from the mainstream either and now like to think of myself as a reasonably well-adjusted lady. I think everyone gets a pass for cringy teenage behavior phases. Haha, we would have been good friends. Still not a social butterfly, but holy crap am I glad I grew as a person. I thought I was not like other girls because I didn't drink or party. I thought I was above my classmates who did. In reality, I was just jealous because I was never invited. Probably because I was such a snob. I was a total pick-me and I cringe when I think about it. I played the ukulele and sang like a stereotypical wannabe manic pixie dream girl. I also tried to get into riding a motorcycle, but broke my foot on it on a motorcycle safety course designed to teach new riders how to ride. I refuse to even be a passenger on one of those things now. So freaking different and adventurous. SMH. I want to punch the teenage version of me in the face sometimes. Someone I know got up in front of her class in middle school and made a speech about why women aren't fit to be president. No, she doesn't believe that anymore, and yes, she still dies inside every time she thinks about it. At least she changed her mind. My mill told my 4-year-old that she can be whatever she wants, except president, because women are too emotional. I was so pee. Something so cliche, it hurts to even talk about. I am a girl. I work at GameStop here in Germany, so one might assume I am into video games. And for most people this isn't even something special anymore, so not even a thing worth mentioning. But we had that female customer who came into our shop and wanted to buy one of the Call of Duty games. I don't remember which one. And with the straightest face ever, she came to the counter and told me, obviously female, and my male colleague without asking, yeah, that's right. I am a girl that plays video games. I love playing with my male friends. Like it was so rare and so special, and she felt so cool. Like so cool. I could barely keep a straight face while my colleague sold her the game and we burst out laughing after she went out of the store. TBF. Back in the 90s, I hid that I spent 80% of my free time playing Sonic the Hedgehog games, because my female friends would give me a hard time about how immature it was. My favorite was the pinball one. I was in my 20s. When I was in middle school, we had to make those desk nameplates for some teachers, and one of my friends was drawing on hers and wrote, "I am an otaku." So what? When she showed me, I said, "Why that? No one ever said anything about you liking anime." She got upset and didn't talk to me for a week. For context, I am from Latin America, so liking anime isn't something weird, and she wasn't the only one who watched anime in my class either. My mom watched Dragon Ball and Naruto growing up to learn English, so when I was chilling on Netflix the other day watching Naruto, she sat down and really enjoyed it. It was nice. It was the pain arc. I refused to wear the skirts in my school uniforms and wore trousers instead, even though 95% of the girls wore skirts. Then in my final year of school, I tried to skirts and felt like an idiot for suffering for 4 years straight with trousers just so I didn't look like the other girls. Oh good lord, there are so many. At one point, I based my entire personality off of the fact that I listened to metal, and that preference made me different and special. I honestly looked down on girls for liking pop or even the color pink. In retrospect, I think I was just lashing out about how people focused so much on my femininity. Also speculation about crushes and stuff, and I took it out on anything remotely feminine. In my defense, I was also like 10 years old. I was friends with my high school friends because we were headbangers. That's it. Sole reason. I cringe now, but it was the girls are too much drama phase for me. I was the drama. It's taken me a long time to stop looking at other women as competition. Now I crave female friendships. One of my best friends in high school decided to take a class in car mechanics. This friend also had zero interest in cars. When I asked her about it, I find out that she has this fantasy of being that girl who walks into a boy-only class and shows them all up. When she got to class the first day and there were 3 other girls enrolled, she was pretty unhappy. I used to wear a fedora and watch MLP. Fortunately, I stopped shortly before the neckbeard stereotype really solidified. God was really watching out for me on that one. I used to wear super high socks with bright pink mid-calf Converse, usually accompanied with a punk screamo band hoodie. I was very not like other girls. Other girls had style and I had bright pink abominations. Oof, those bright pink mid-calf Converse got me. I had plaid ones that I wore with mismatched knee socks because I was so random. I still cringe at my manic pixie dream girl phase. Though truth be told I still wear mismatched socks, but that's out of convenience now. I wore Argyle knee-high socks and Converse with my homecoming dress. I wore boxers under my skinny jeans like those emo guys in the early 2000s. I put maxi pads on my shoulders and told people I was going to try out for the football team. Okay, that third one's just funny though. As a teenage girl who grew up listening to classic rock, you can bet your butt I was one of those annoying ugh modern music sucks. I wish I grew up in the 60s/70s, 80s, etc. type girls. Thankfully I grew out of that, and if I could go back in time and talk some sense into my younger self I would. I have the reverse version of this story. I'm a gay man, but hadn't come to terms with that at this point in my life. 9th grade. I had a girlfriend but we were both good Christians, so we mostly just watched Disney movies and hung out. One night we were lying on the trampoline after watching Pocahontas and she said, "Gustav holla, I like you cause you don't want what the other boys want." She was absolutely right. This was in middle school, but back then I was the ultimate pick-me girl. I hated One Direction and was very vocal about it. I had no reason. Everyone else loved them, so I wasn't like other girls. Same with Justin Bieber, but he did turn out to be a dong. Technically I'm talking about a guy, but it's basically the same. So we were in Spanish class, 8th grade. We were in a unit about activities and how to say what you like to do and what you don't like to do. One of the words was listening to music. One kid in my class, who is infamous for being extremely pretentious, raised his hand and said, "Is there a word for making music?" This on its own isn't that bad I guess, but after the teacher answered him, the teacher also said that making music is cool. The kid started saying, "Yeah, I'm a musician. I think a lot of people think I'm pretty out there because of it." Then he started talking to the kid next to him about his music, the entire class. Oh, and another story with the same kid. We were in drama class one time. Every class we would get a question we have to answer when roll call gets to us. On that day, the question was, "Who is a musician you really like?" Well, it gets to the kid and I crap you not, he says himself. With almost everything I did, I felt proud of myself for supposedly not being like other girls. I didn't wear the same types of clothes other girls wore. I didn't wear makeup. I was super unique because I liked anime, all that kind of stuff. I tried way too hard to make friends with guys because apparently I thought they were better than girls. For some reason, I do cringe looking back on it, but I also feel sad about it. Girls shouldn't feel pitted against each other. Despite my best friends being girls, I thought that I didn't get along with other girls in general because I wanted to distance myself from the media representation. Exactly the same as you about trying to make friends with guys. It was so dumb. A girl I had an extremely brief, not even one night stand with, sent me a questionnaire survey she made over a year later, asking me how she had performed and what would I change about her. We hadn't really talked in the meantime, nor since, but I did fill it out for her for a laugh. I didn't realize she wasn't joking. I'm pretty sure I recall seeing the girl's side of this on TikTok a few days ago. Mine was when I was just trying to pretend I could work on cars because I had changed my own oil once. So, I was bragging to my sister and some of our guy friends about being such a bad butt girl, and told her I'd change hers. I got down to it and was draining the oil and noticed it looked really clean. It was transmission fluid. I drained the transmission fluid. I was phoning a girl in middle school and I was showing her my taxidermy bugs and she said, despite me not being a girl, LOL. She said LOL. Other girls shop for heels and stuff, while we collect stickers and bugs. LOL. My Facebook history came up to haunt me with this today. 7 years ago I posted I just burnt my tongue on a piece of pizza, and I think that's a very strong metaphor that sometimes the things you love most in life will hurt you. Oof. I mean, you're not wrong. I'm not like other girls, I'm strong and independent. Girl, you justifiably left your husband, and 2 weeks later your strong independent self moved your 2-year-old daughter in with a guy you met a week earlier because you can't bear to be single and haven't been for more than a month since you were 13. Whoa, this perfectly described my sister-in-law. Woman so blind to her own codependency. She is Iran Perkins, who essentially takes on the personality of each dude she is with. My not like other girls phase was unfortunately the hyper-religious kind. I'd wear the most unflattering clothes possible because modesty, smugly muttering modest is hottest at all the other girls who were, in hindsight, justifiably upset with the school dress code. I also blared contemporary Christian music from my phone far too often during sports events. The list goes on. Luckily it didn't last that long and I was able to actually get to know some of the other girls and made some good friends by the end of high school. I do not know what actually possessed me to do this, but once in like 3rd grade we took a field trip and were riding in a charter bus. I had a massive crush on the boy sitting in front of me and his slightly older brother was sitting with him. We had passed something that smelled terrible and they were like, oh my god, what is that? And I literally tapped one of them, was like, yeah, I'm so sorry that was me, but I hadn't even farted. And then I told them about 2 or 3 more farts I had and apologized if they smelled them. I don't know why, or what the frick was wrong with me. It was the only reason I could think of to talk to them, I guess. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video. Bye for now.